Hey guys, it's Carrie from Red Curtain Addict. I am so excited to see you today because I have a special guest who is going to be joining us, David Pershall, who has sang at countless opera houses, Metropolitan Opera, San Francisco Opera, San Diego Opera, Vienna State Opera, so many. But now he's doing something very unique with the San Diego Opera, and I'm very excited to welcome him on. Hey David, good to see you.
Hi there, how are you?
Good to see you. So excited to chat with you today because I hear you're working on a really exciting role with the San Diego Opera and really looking forward to hearing more about it. I'm curious though, before we get into it, you've sang in so many opera halls. You've done so many different roles. You've done recitals, master classes, you name it. And of course, last year, everybody's lives kind of went on pause and a lot of the theaters went on pause. So I'm curious, just the stamina that you had as an opera singer, how have you kept that up so that when, for this role, you're ready to hit the ground running, if you will, and be like, I'm ready, even though you've had a bit of a break here. What have you been doing to keep your voice ready to go?
Sure, well, always practice. Practice helps us make our worst mistakes in private so that the small mistakes happen in public. So always practicing. And stamina for the voice is one thing, but with all the remote learning and stuff with my kids, I feel like I've been running around with it like a chicken with my head cut off for the past year. Staying busy with that for sure. And always hitting the gym. That's helpful.
Hey, that's a really good point. Controlling your breathing and putting pressure on your muscles and all of that I'm sure comes into play when you're singing.
Absolutely.
It's a good point. I definitely need to get to the gym for sure. I've been taking a little bit of a break on that myself, but good reminder, David. For sure. Well, I am so excited about hearing your role of Figaro and the San Diego Opera. And for those maybe that are not familiar to the opera, you may have heard the song Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. I remember watching it, David, when as a kid, I was watching the Looney Tunes when Bugs Bunny is doing the famous, opera scene.
That's the one.
That's the one. And of course, Mrs. Doubtfire was another big one, and I've seen it in commercials. But maybe, now that we're kind of familiar with that song, we may not be familiar with the synopsis of Barber of Seville. And it's a little bit complicated, I'm not going to lie. So I was just curious if you can break it down for us, maybe in the next 60 seconds, of
Sure.
What is the overall story?
Right. So Figaro is known as the Barber of Seville, but also the guy that does everything around town. So that's the character I play. And we have Rosina and Count Almaviva, who are the typical lovebirds. And my job is to somehow finagle a way for Count Almaviva to marry Rosina without anybody knowing about it until the moment the marriage happens. So that's the opera in short. I am successful. There are a few jokes and shenanigans along the way. I have to pretend to be very, very busy when I'm not at all, just passing notes back and forth. But that's the gist of it in a nutshell.
So David, I'm curious, around your role of Figaro, now that we know a little bit more about the opera, it seems to me, the Count is one of the main characters, but Figaro seems to have a lot of the fun. So I'm curious on what are some of your favorite traits of this character and what's maybe something we don't know about Figaro that we should?
One of my favorite traits about him is that he's a crafty guy. So rather than just introduce the Count to Rosina and say, here's this beautiful girl that you've been seeing walking by. Hello, beautiful girl. This is Count Almaviva. Surely you'll fall in love. We kind of make up a name for him, Lindoro, and he sings her a song where she's a poor guy, where he is a poor guy rather than the Count. And so I enjoy that kind of, it's crafty with a cause and a good cause, so I like that, Typically as baritones, we play crafty with a bad cause. So it's nice to play the nice guy for a change, you know.
For sure. He's kind of mischievous.
One of my favorite, I guess, just moments in the show has very little to do with music at all. It's in a recit scene, which is kind of like dialogue for opera. And I'm rattling on this list of things I have to accomplish for the day after I give Don Bartolo a shave, saying it has to be today. He doesn't want the shave. And one of them happens to be I have to go give a guy an enema because he's got indigestion. And that just cracks me every time I get to the line. I'm like, really? Okay, this is him. This is Figaro.
All right, let's do it.
Great.
I love it. What if you could like maybe compare Figaro to a character of today, like a modern day movie or show? Who would you say? Because he's mischievous, but he has good intentions. I don't know. Who would you say?
That's a tough one.
Or is he just like very unique on his own? He doesn't have anybody that's
He's
similar
totally
to him.
unique, but I guess there would be like elements of Jim from The Office, like plays pranks, kind of lighthearted, that kind of thing. But yeah, Jim's not as peppy and upbeat and like all about me, you know? So.
I can see that though. I love The Office.
In a way that Jim is not.
Got it. No, I think it's gonna be fun. And you've played Figaro before, but this is gonna be different. And that's what I really want to kind of dig in here on is this experience that the San Diego Opera is putting together, which is a drive-in opera experience. So I'm curious, for the audiences that are coming or even that are going to be doing a drive-in in their own cities, what can we expect from a drive-in opera? And is this something that's family friendly that you can bring kids to? Is it for all ages?
Absolutely, it's family friendly. There's not any subject material in this particular production that would be offensive, too bad for children. But yeah, I love being out there. It's quite the setup. It's a huge stage, and seeing the huge screens out and about in the parking lot is pretty cool. And of course, we get to see the sunset from the stage. You guys will miss it in the cars, but that's quite.
Will be behind us.
Singing for this setting sun is fun.
That's so cool. And how does the sound work? Is it going to be loud enough for us to roll down our windows, or do we tune into anything?
Yeah, you're going to be tuning into a radio station, and I think it's broadcast locally on site. So sound will be mixed and then broadcast there. And our sound designer is fantastic. He's been out there working on it for a few days, and you could roll down your window and hear maybe some of the voices live, some of them not. But the wind is very strong there, and you're probably going to lose some of the orchestra or the voices, especially with the generators making all that noise from the. So it's best to tune into the radio.
Yeah, no, I think someone said this to me. The arts are having to adapt to the times. So we need to adapt to how we're experiencing them. So it's fun. Roll up your windows, tune into the radio. It's not, of course, your standard experience, but that's the whole point, is that it's a drive-in experience, and go with it. Embrace it, I guess you could say.
Now you can bring your favorite snack and eat along.
See? And you don't have to worry about that person that's like opening up the mint continuously for like 50 minutes. You're just like, just open the mint. Big pet peeve. But I'm curious too, like you said that you took some photos and some video of your backstage experience, on stage experience, and I think we should take a look at it. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Hi guys, welcome to backstage of Barber of Seville. It's hard to see, but I will have the mad crazy scientist hair soon. And how awesome is it back here in Pechanga that we got Garth Brooks on the wall, The Killers on the wall, Guns N' Roses, hey-oh, Neil Diamond, Janet Jackson. Oh, we're avoiding the tenor's guns here. He's changing at the moment. Shakira, woo! Hey guys, this is the stage. Woo! They're working on setting it up for rehearsal tonight, but you can see here, from my point of view, this is what you will see. Pretty crazy. Don't mind the structure there, we'll really be more over here. The orchestra, rather than being right in front of us, will be all the way over there. So we'll do our best to keep it together. All right, hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes moment.
So cool. I love seeing what it looks like from your shoes. I've always kind of been curious of what it looks like to look on to the audience. And being on that stage, and you mentioned you get to see the sunset from your point of view, huh?
Absolutely, yeah.
That will be awesome. Well, I'm curious, tell us a bit about the rehearsal experience that you've had. How has it been?
Sure.
Very similar to your standard rehearsal, but how has it been very different?
Sure. I think, and the way it's been very similar is that, we're actually meeting, every day for the course of the week, and, the scenes are the scenes. In some ways, it's been very different is one, our director's idea of the show, so her personal production ideas, and they're pretty cool. So it's going to be based on like that old 1960s, 1970s TV show Laugh-In. So we're all kind of really bombastic characters, which makes it fun and entertaining. But the rehearsal in terms of the day-to-day to our job, it's really the distance that is difficult, especially as an actor. You're so used to like, okay, we're having a conversation now, so we can be close and deal with our props and pass things back and forth. And we've had to kind of, take a step back from that and reassess how can we get the conversational nature of the piece through in those moments, but from, the proper spacing to keep everybody safe. And I feel like we've done a great job of that here, in terms of keeping the dialogue flowing really quickly, really sharp, even though we're spaced apart. And we have these wonderful little GoPro cameras, so you can actually see us having a conversation with each other or with you, and those are very helpful because we can kind of take the space away, and here we are.
That's awesome. I was curious about that because I think, we still are needing to be careful, and we're all taking our precautions. I love that the opera has been this, innovative vessel for doing opera different. But it is interesting to see, so on stage, how you're kind of handling it, those intimate moments with characters. So you're still, I'm assuming, 6 feet apart. Are you wearing masks outside? How will that look?
We only wore masks during the spacing rehearsals. So once we met, we were sure that we had rehearsed enough that we would keep our distance to keep everyone safe. Then we were able to remove the masks and run, because we're outdoors. It's in open air. So,
right.
And props to, David Bennett and San Diego Opera for chasing down these ways that we can continue to present our art form to the public in times that are very challenging. This is
100%.
Second production since last January because of all of the and the main problem is how do we keep everybody safe. I feel like that's really been thought through in a way here that is really, I guess, could be emblematic of what's to come if we have to go back into this, if a new strain pops up or the vaccines don't seem as useful as we once hoped they would be. But for now, I think everybody's full of hope. The vaccines are rolling out. We have good news on that front in terms of their effectiveness, and I feel like, yeah, all right.
I think we're all ready. This will be one of my first times to see a live performance in over a year, and I could not run faster to this experience because I'm so excited. to do it. But
to get to see a live show again,
Yeah, definitely. It will be so nice. And it's good to hear, we are getting back to a theater, but it's good to hear how San Diego Opera has taken these precautions of making sure everyone is safe and that we can all be at peace, that we're not putting anyone else in harm's way, which is really great. And then, we are going to be in cars, and that this opera is over usually 3 hours. So that's a long time. So they've cut down the time, right? They've cut it in half. So it's about an hour and a half, about a typical movie length, if you will. So I'm curious, that is a significant cut. Will there be any new pieces of music to help bridge the gaps, or how will that look? Or how will that sound?
Not brand new pieces of music, but there are some rearrangements, so to speak, of the recitative to help move the action forward for the scenes that have been removed due to time constraint. And the other way we save a lot of time is performing without an intermission. So there's 30 minutes back in the pocket right off the top. So it presents some challenges, because if you've performed these roles quite often, like I had and some of my other castmates had, this is a new kind of challenge. This is a new piece of self-pace and singing everything back to back to back to back to back. And but
wow,
that's what live theater is all about. Nobody wants to see us do something that we can just do. Oh yeah, that's so easy. No. We're gonna give a show. We're gonna be the best we can be.
Absolutely. But I feel like it's like, hey, give me a second. It's like one of my first times to get back on stage. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have, we've been waiting for this, but it's exciting. So I'm curious too, what is one of your favorite parts of this opera, and what should we look out for when we're going to San Diego Opera?
Obviously, what everybody calls the Bugs Bunny song is my favorite part of the opera, because that's the aria my character sings. I'm selfish that way. But in terms of another part that I really love is, I really love the Act 1 finale, when we have all of the cast members and all of the chorus and the full orchestra coming together, and we can really play off each other and just have a great time entertaining you as our audience members. And you should watch out for maybe a rubber chicken every once in a while. Just keep your eyes peeled.
Rubber chicken? Yeah. What? Is this I don't remember rubber chicken in this one. Is this like a normal thing, or is this like an addition to?
It's a nod to the television show our director is staging this production off of, The Laugh. So.
Right. Okay. All right.
Hilarious moments with that, and we'll be doing lots of dancing. So,
oh,
you don't want to miss that. Opera singers dancing. That's funny. Just
no. No, I think it'll be fun. I think that's something I love about opera in general is you get a little bit of everything. You get theater, you get dance, you get music. Yeah. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop for theater to me, and it's just always so grand too. The music. Tell me a little bit more about the set too. I'm really curious on what we can expect for that. Is it a normal set? How does it differ?
For all intents and purposes, it's a normal set. We even have rotating set pieces for scene changes, and we're expanding the play area a little bit in front of the set. So there's some pretty awesome classic cars parked out in front that we get to play and act between downstage before we get up onto stage. And the lighting is fantastic. And it's really a colorful, upbeat, it's a 3-hour opera down to 90 minutes. So it's really fast paced, which I think everybody appreciates these days. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great show, and I'm so thankful and thrilled to be a part of it.
It'll be so much fun. And again, I think this is something different, maybe that a lot of us haven't gone to before. I've been to opera, but I've never been to a drive-in opera, and I love the the throwback and the retro-ness of that, you know, we've maybe been to a drive-in of a movie, but not in a live opera. So this is something that we're all looking forward to. David, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It was so great to meet you and hearing more about what we can expect for this exciting opera at the San Diego Opera. So for all of you listening, make sure to check out more information on that, of how you can get tickets to the San Diego Opera on their website and even at redcurtainaddict.com. And make sure to check out David on his Instagram. It's been so much fun to see your stories and your posts of how you've been getting ready for this performance. And also just make sure that you follow us on Red Curtain Addict to hear more about our road trip of how we're going to different places throughout the country, hearing how people are opening the arts up again, how they're being innovative, doing things out of the box. So thank you, David, for such a fun time tonight. I really appreciate it. Good to meet you.
Thank you much. My pleasure. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. And follow us on redcurtainaddict.com for our other interviews and spotlights.